Albon. This is for 6th position, or it was, because Albon has just driven around the side of his good friend.
Thompson with the giveaway. Here's a chance in front. Oh, what a goal by Taves Thompson! TNT blows it up.
Or Quinn.
Or Paterka.
I think they perform better. You know, just they have better chemistry. They move on the ice better. They pass better.
But it's adding.
It's just
on
going
to,
into the whole.
Yeah,
Grand
it's
Prix.
adding on to the drivers' championship and the constructors' championship.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Sports Hour. I'm your host, as always, Ethan Smith. I am joined by a refreshing face. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had you on, but it's the lovely EP, Jenna Polito. Welcome.
Thank you.
And let's talk some gridiron.
Yes.
Let's start off with the first game of week 8. Week 7.
Week 7.
Week 7.
Yes.
I can do basic algebraic functions. Week 7. With the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New Orleans Saints. Jacksonville taking this one 31-24. What happened in this one, Jenna?
Yes, so this was a tough week to be a Saints fan, but even tougher to be Foster Moreau. So the Saints started off, I think they were down for the fourth quarter. They only had 9 points to 24, but they were able to come back up to 24. And then I think, there was like a minute left or something. Foster Moreau, that pass just bounced off his hands.
Foster Moreau with the drop heard around the world. I mean, and I think it's just been like an issue plaguing, I guess, just the league with the hands team failures. Obviously, the Bills experiencing some drop problems as well. But yeah, this was a really big one. Foster Moreau, I mean, he wasn't uncovered. It wasn't like a run-of-the-mill catch, but it's one you got to come down with in the NFL. Would have sent the game to overtime most likely. Probably would have resulted in, giving the Saints a shot to win this thing. But Jacksonville, not to discredit them, they've looked really good. They've looked really good since starting slow.
They did, especially because their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, he was playing with a sprained knee, and they were still able to get that victory. I believe there was. I'm trying to find the scoring.
Sprained knee didn't really slow him down that much. 8 carries for 59 yards on the ground. He was the Jacksonville Jaguars' leading rusher, so obviously was really effective way. Travis Etienne found the end zone twice with 2 touchdowns on the ground, and I think he found another one. No, he didn't catch one. It was Christian Kirk who caught one, 6 grabs, 90 yards, and a touchdown for Kirk. But mostly it was the Jaguars' defense that kept them in most of that did most of the heavy lifting. Derek Carr threw the ball 55 times, 301 yards, and a touchdown and a pick for him. Alvin Kamara, who really hasn't recaptured that lightning in the bottle kind of explosiveness that he had for such a long time. Only 62 yards on the ground, no touchdowns. He was their leading receiver, however. He had, I think, like 12 catches, 12 receptions for 91 yards. So, obviously, just a whole lot of things. Just a whole lot of action for Kamara in the passing game. Chris Olave, 7 catches, 57 yards. Obviously, just the one little thing to button up this game. What happened with Chris Olave over the weekend?
So Chris Olave, I think it was just yesterday, he was arrested for reckless driving. He was doing like 35 over, and pretty sure it was in a school zone. This was in New Orleans.
I don't know about the school zone thing, but yeah, that sounds crazy.
Maybe he just wanted to get away from Derek Carr. I mean, you hate to see a good player with a mid-quarterback.
I think Derek Carr is just cursed because this is the second receiver that Derek Carr has had to experience driving recklessly and dangerously. Not to dwell too much on that, however, as we get to talk about what was a car crash of a game, the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can in this portion of the segment. The Bills should have won this game.
I think they
objectively, the Patriots are 1 win coming in. Going into Foxborough. Not an easy place to play ever. Bill Belichick obviously has a lot still to, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Bills should have come out on top. They didn't. The defense is hurt. And I like to think about this. I like to think as a glass kind of half full kind of thing. 2 years ago, I saw this online. 2 years ago, the Buffalo Bills lost a very winnable game in New England, one that should have won, and the offense was sputtering, the offense didn't look good, and then the next week they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they figured out their offense, and they looked unbeatable after that game, obviously until they got to the playoffs. I'm hoping that happens again. What happened, Jenna?
Honestly, I mean, I think this is like the third or fourth time Josh Allen on the first pass of the game, he has thrown an interception. I think it was Jabril Peppers, but it was intended for Dawson Knox, who is actually currently undergoing surgery for a wrist and will
miss indefinite
definitely
time,
not be playing.
Which, for those at home wondering, indefinite is a fancy word for he'll miss the rest of the season. That's not entirely true, but it sort of feels that way as as Bills are now dropping like flies.
Yes.
I mean, just a short list. Von Miller still isn't 100%. Tre'Davious White season-ending injury. Matt Milano season-ending injury. Dalton Kincaid has missed times with the concussion. The list goes on and on. Offensive lineman problems, defensive lineman problems. Greg Rousseau has missed some games. They're arguably the best defensive tackle. I can't remember the life of me what his name is right now. Oh my goodness. Daquan Jones is going to miss extended period of time with a torn pectoral muscle. All of that to be said, though, you got to beat the team. You can only feel the players that are healthy, and the Bills should have won. And it never really felt like they were going to, though.
Yeah, it never really did. I mean, I think we've been seeing a lot of this season, where in the seasons past, you have Josh Allen just doing these crazy running plays, everything. His ability is just freakish, and we've really seen him cut down on doing that. I think part of that is due to Ken Dorsey and them not wanting to get him hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But
it definitely feels like the Josh Allen factor, the Josh Allen effect, this like ability to like, I'm going to run through you, I'm going to trash talk you, I'm going to hurdle you, I'm going to throw this ball 80 miles an hour down the field, hasn't been seen. I don't want to say he's not passionate, obviously I think he still wants to win games. I think he's still an amazing quarterback. I think he's top 3 in the league. I just don't see the same Josh Allen that has won us many games before.
yeah, and like,
but I don't think maybe it's just teams have bad games. Obviously, there's been games like not every team is going to win every game. No one's gone undefeated ever in the history of the sport. So I think the Dolphins did one time, but who cares? That was like when TVs were black and white. Yeah. So the Bills though, could be time to hit the panic button.
I mean, I understand their concern with getting our star quarterback hurt, but at the same time, if you look at last year with his elbow injury that happened inside the pocket, if you look at his shoulder injury that just happened, that was inside the pocket as well. So none of these are really happening on these running plays that he loves to do. I mean, we had James Cook, he had 56 rushing yards. We are not really a rushing team.
Yeah, we're not a running team. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not paid to know what the answer is, but clearly whatever's going on right now in Orchard Park is not the answer. Mac Jones carved us up, 25 for 30, 25 completions on 30 attempts, 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson, 39-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, Grandma Zeke, who I think is kind of like, he's like having a 1993 Toyota Corolla. Like, it still runs, but should it? 11 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Yes. So the fringe Zeke starters in fantasy still clinging to the hopes in the past were rewarded. Back to the drawing board. The Bills take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football, 2 days from now. And I think that is enough Bills talk for now. Let's head over to Detroit, Baltimore, another good team that got absolutely obliterated.
Yes,
Detroit, their rocket-powered offense scored 6 points. So
this was an absolute blowout. I mean, before
let me know, Jenna.
Before Detroit even got on the board, they put up 5 touchdowns, I think. Lamar Jackson, he was 21 for 27. He had 357 yards. That is just insane. I'm pretty sure he had like a 2 or 3 run touchdown himself, but.
He ran one in, threw for 3, and Gus Edwards also contributed a touchdown. Gus Edwards also had an 80-yard reception. So we talked last week about how the Baltimore Ravens, or maybe it wasn't last week, it was a couple weeks ago, we talked about how the Baltimore offense is missing J.K. Dobbins. The league it's a really quick turnover. Gus Edwards has really come into his own. Lamar Jackson, by the way, looked absolutely precise.
Yes,
21 for 27, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns. I know I've said it before, but again, that is really efficient. And it's really effective. The Lions just looked flat. The defense was not in its in the form we've seen it be this season, I think the defense is really coming into its own in Detroit, as obviously I think it was their weakest part for like a couple of years, but it really feels like it's coming into its own. Not in this game, though. Baltimore really had it mapped.
Yes, the only touchdown for Detroit came from Jahmyr Gibbs in the fourth quarter off a 21-yard run, which they tried to have a 2-point conversion, which failed, resulting in only 6 instead of 7 for 38-6. Yeah, it just did not look good for them. Obviously, these two teams are at the top of their divisions, both AFC and NFC North, if I'm correct. But yeah, I don't know.
And then we had just the epitome of the National Football League, the greatest game ever played on a field of 100 yards. The Las Vegas Raiders, led by my geriatric quarterback, Brian Hoyer, taking on Tyson Bagent and the Chicago Bears. What in the world was this game? The Bears win it 30-12.
Honestly.
Tyson Bagent, an undrafted quarterback, is he the new Brock Purdy? No, he's not. 160 yards and a touchdown. He didn't look terrible. I mean, he looked better than I was expecting. But also, he's playing the Raiders, who are trash. Jenna?
Yeah, I would also say that. Start off the scoring with a 2-yard run from Deonta Foreman. Is that how I say it?
Yeah, Deonta.
Yeah, honestly, this is just a real turnaround. We had the Bears coming into this season without having won a game in who knows how long, about a year or something, and I don't know. This was a
Yeah, it was a messy
I
game.
would say, but
It's a messy game. Brian Hoyer does not have that dog in him. But however, though, they did bring in another guy that wasn't Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell, 75 yards, a touchdown, an interception. But not the worst I've seen. However, the Vegas Raiders, the Derek Carr experiment didn't work. The Jimmy Garoppolo experiment isn't working. I think it's time we open up a dialogue on Josh Jacobs, because Josh Jacobs has looked not great this season.
yeah, I mean, he was the Raiders' rushing yard leader. He only had 35 yards, 11 carries. I mean, that is just not what we would expect.
Yeah, I mean, a season ago, pre-injury, this guy was like #1 in scrimmage yards, #1 in everything, like was a beast, unstoppable, and now he's gone into this, I don't know. Not the point. Point being, time really rushes past you
Yes,
in
it
these
does.
segments. As the first segment has flown by so quickly, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back with some more NFL football with a new person sitting to my left.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Miss Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Do my eyes deceive me? Or do I have Justin Chatema back on Sports Hour?
Your eyes do not deceive
for
you,
some
sir.
NFL football dialogue.
I'm back.
He's back.
After a hiatus also known as the common cold, I'm back and here to talk about some football. Contradictory to my outfit, thank God we're not going to talk about this team.
We just had
I'm not very happy
full.
about with the town of Buffalo and their football establishment.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Just had a full 6-minute diatribe on the Buffalo Bills. Not the focus of our segment though,
Thank
Justin.
Christ.
We're gonna start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are also back from their bye week, which was in week 6. I don't know whose decision that was, but I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of a bye week, having it where there's still like 12 weeks left in the year.
Indeed.
Not the point. Steelers are 4-2. They're riding high. Kenny Pickett is looking like, he's not world changing. He's not changing the universe.
No.
But he's winning games.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if he's winning games or if the defense is winning games, but the point is they're winning games.
Yeah. It seems, the Rams kind of were trying to keep up with them in the beginning, and then towards the end, they just totally lost it. They didn't know what was going on especially after that interception. The game was T.J. Watt interception.
T.J. Watt pick was really.
But Kenny Pickett, he's no Superman, but he's reliable. Pickett to Pickens, that's always fun.
Yeah, got the alliteration, the alliterative names there, the two P's, the P2P connection.
P-I-C-K,
Yeah.
P-I-C-K.
Yeah, I got the full first syllable of those two names are identical. So that's always fun. Cooper Kupp is washed up, 2 catches for 29 yards. Puka Nacua, 8 catches for 154. This guy just racks up yards.
He's a beast.
I've never seen someone just like
I saw this dude
consistently get like three. I mean, besides Tyreek Hill, but he's world changing.
Yeah. I've seen this dude get I haven't even heard of him before this season.
No one had.
This dude was knocking out or running through tackles left and right. It was insane.
He just works harder. I feel like he's not like I got this theory, right? It's not that he's faster than everybody else. It's not that he's like more precise or agile or stronger. He just got to rely on a very overused idiom. Puka Nacua's got that dog in him. 8 catches, 154 yards. This guy's out here just putting in work. He's just fun to watch. And another fun thing about Puka Nacua is that
I have another fun fact, but continue.
Oh, no, please.
We were born in the same year, me and Puka Nacua.
Oh yeah, 1995.
01.
01?
01. We're both 01 babies.
He's a generational.
He is 22 years old.
You had the same birth year as who will go down to be the greatest receiver in the history of the NFL.
It's quite a possibility.
Wow.
That's insane.
That is
beast.
incredible. Yeah, he's a monster. So going from one dog to a team with no dogs, the Arizona Cardinals lost to the Seattle Seahawks 10-20. The Cardinals are putrid. We talked they were fun last week. We're not having fun anymore in Glendale. Seattle takes this one 20-10. Who thought that Geno Smith would have a career renaissance in the Pacific Northwest?
I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I knew that. I didn't think this game was going to be this low scoring. It kind of amazed me. Battle of the Birds, Seahawks. What's going on? I mean,
Amari DiMercado? I don't even know who that guy is.
You won, but it's like only 10 points.
Yeah, you beat like arguably the worst team in the league
won,
by 10 points.
I mean, and to be fair, Cardinals had an atrocious kid on their hands, all white with the disgusting.
Who's making these decisions
about
what the teams are wearing and when? Because I'm gonna write them a very angry letter in the mail.
Especially with the Cardinals kit organizer.
Gross.
Gross.
Don't get me started.
Gross. And not in a good way, gross.
Seattle moves to 4-2. Geno Smith played acceptable. Kenneth Walker III obviously provided some on the ground. No one really played out of their minds, but Seattle did enough to get it done. It kind of feels like that's sort of the vibe in the NFL right now, is that teams are just kind of like getting it done. You know, like they're not like going out there and dominating the players. Like they're kind of like the energy at the beginning of the season is like, yeah, we're gonna come out here, we're gonna score like 80 points. Now it's kind of like, let's just win and get out of here.
Yeah.
And these are the nitty-gritty wins you gotta do.
Yeah.
So good for Seattle for winning again. They're supposed to win, unlike some teams in Western New York that couldn't do the same thing.
Take some notes.
I digress. The Denver Broncos are finally riding again.
Well,
19-17, a
2
slobber
points.
knocker.
This was a nail biter.
Yeah, it came down to the wire. Russell Wilson never doubted him. The dangerous.
That makes one of us.
We always knew it was meant to be that he would put together a victory here. I, for one, am rooting for the Broncos. The year that Russell Wilson got traded to the Broncos, I thought that I would win the Super Bowl. I was so convinced. I drafted Russell Wilson in my fantasy league. I drafted Cortland Sutton.
Wow.
I think I even had Melvin Gordon on the squad. I went all Broncos. And then they won like 4 games, and I lost the season.
And then they sprained their horse ankle, and their horse head had to get horse shot in the head.
Their horse head had to get horse shot in the head. Justin Shadama, it's been we've missed you
I'm
on
back.
Sports Hour.
Hello.
Not really much to talk about in this game. Not a lot. Like
it was a game.
It was a game.
Yeah, it was a
game, and that's all.
Which
the
I feel
analysis.
like this week it was a lot of this was a football game.
Yeah, this week was like a lot of football was played. I'm not going to
Indeed.
comment on the quality of the football,
Yeah.
but there were certainly games on at their designated times. Speaking of poor quality football,
I was there.
Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback. I am so angry at Justin Herbert. He has single-handedly lost me back-to-back weeks in fantasy, and I'm tired of it. That Dallas game, I didn't talk about it much last week. It was trash. You got sacked on the second-to-last play, and then you threw an interception on your last play. That is a cumulative loss of 3 total fantasy points when I was winning by 0.18. And then he dares come into Kansas City against a really weak defense. KC's defense is not like game-breaking, you know, like it's not like the Jets or like the Ravens or the Broncos, not the Broncos, but you know what I mean.
Even the Steelers.
They're not like a great team. They're not like insane. Apparently they saw Justin Herbert. Jay Herbo did not impress. 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
2 interceptions.
Josh Palmer, 5 catches, 133 yards.
Especially with Kansas City defense, you should not be throwing 2 picks. It's just that's
and I just
kind of
can't wait for the playoffs to hear from Tony Romo about how ingenious this defensive system used by the Kansas City Chiefs is. I don't even remember his name, but I have the name in my mind. It's not. Is it like I don't even know. I don't know the name. The defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, he'll get a million praises.
Yeah,
he's not that good.
Of course he would. Of course he's going to.
Patrick Mahomes threw for 424 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, kind of played out of his mind.
It was like the quietest 424 yards I've ever seen in my life.
I know. Like when I read up about this game, I was like, oh,
I
don't
Mahomes
remember.
threw for 424
I don't remember
yards?
watching that, but I guess
It was death by 1,000 cuts. It was just.
Apparently.
It was crazy. Travis Kelce obliterated me in fantasy. 12 catches for 179 and touchdown. And
NFL, good job. You're doing better with the Swiftie.
Well, she was there.
She was there.
So I mean, and there's this interesting stat actually.
But I only saw it a few times.
Yeah, there's an interesting stat. In the games that Taylor Swift attends, he's averaging 99 yards a game. In games where she's not in attendance, he's averaging 54 yards a game. So
wow.
I mean, to be
it's like preschool.
not to describe Travis Kelce's accomplishments, but Taylor Swift did make him. So.
It's like preschool. It's like, oh, my crush is in the audience. I'm going to try super hard.
It's like at recess when you know the cute girls watching you from the sideline.
Like, I'm gonna launch this kickball and no one's gonna see it ever.
Put on a highlight reel.
Yeah.
So good for Travis Kelce and good for the Eras tour. And Miami can't beat a good team.
No.
Can't do it. All 5 of their wins, number 1 team in the AFC East, all 5 of their wins have come against teams that they've combined won 6 games.
Yeah.
The 5 teams they've beat have won 6 total games, which I think is just hilarious.
It's kind of insane.
Tua Tagovailoa, 23 completions for 216 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Raheem Mostert was silenced in this game. He's been a monster all year in fantasy and otherwise. 9 rushes for 45 yards and a touchdown. And I really think that the Dolphins really missed Devon Achane, who was out with an injury. And I wanted to get your opinion, Justin, on the so-called tush push or the brotherly shove that the Philadelphia Eagles run all the time. Where that's the one where like they bring the receivers in motion and then like they have a fullback behind him and then they just like run a QB sneak, but all the people push all in the same direction.
Oh yes, I saw this. The first time I saw it, reading up about this game, I was like, "What is this? Like the new flying V, but for football?" I was like,
guess
"That's
so.
interesting."
They're calling it.
It's almost like a reverse flying V because they're all just
it's
really
like a
trying to
wedge,
get the
and
first.
you just drive it forward. It's like we're going back to 3 yards in a cloud of dust football. There's people who are like, we should ban this play, which is ridiculous because why would we ban it?
If it works, then that's how football evolves, guys.
It's not the most flashy play, but it's also like not illegal.
It kind of looks. I mean, it kind of looks.
The motions aren't illegal. It does look kind of cool.
Yeah. Especially in the. I mean, you know what I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah, Eagles, especially in the Kelly greens.
Eagles kits in the bright green and the gray pants.
Great
and the helmet.
jersey.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you saw, but AJ Brown's aura. In those Kelly Green jerseys, elite aura.
The whole side, the whole bench for the Eagles this game, amazing vibes.
One of the best,
amazing.
One of the best uniforms in football.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
Maybe like third, I think it's like fourth or third for me. I think those Tampa Bay creamsicle jerseys are incredible, and I think that those baby blue Chargers jerseys are really good too, like the powder blue ones, and also the Tennessee Titans Oilers flashback, which they're going to be wearing this week. So be on the lookout for that. And unfortunately, although that the brotherly love, City Brotherly Love, the Kelly Green jerseys are my third favorite jerseys in the NFL. It's time to move to our third segment of the night. So we're going to take a quick 1-minute break, and we're going to be talking some circle driving with Brock. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Woo. When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music. The live music that we have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's got to be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
And welcome back. A little screen wipe, bottom to top. Let's talk some bottom to top with some NASCAR with Brock. Pleasure to have you on as always. So, what is the latest in the Championship Cup Series?
So, as we've always been doing this throughout this semester, we always cover 2 races. So we'll start at the one just a little magical, like the Disney land for adults. Let's talk about Vegas for a second.
Yes, Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And for the Vegas top 3, let's just breeze it all through. We got Lars King, the winner win a chicken dinner. And then we got Bell and Kyle Busch. I personally call him Kyle Bushy. But
yeah, Bushy's having a renaissance.
He is.
He's putting together some podiums.
Yes. He's getting a little bit of a comeback. And they're running up in second and third. So that's all that matters. And words. Wow, words is a concept.
Yes, words are conceptual. Also living things. Sorry, actually, as Chris Pasigo would tell me, words are not conceptual. Words are physical things. Meanings are conceptual. And what is the meaning of this? Because I thought my guy Byron had this championship cup in the bag, but you're telling me he finished 7th?
He did.
What occurred in this race that had Byron finishing 7th?
He was having a rough day in Vegas, as do everybody else in Vegas when they have a little gambling stuff. But I think Byron stood away from the casinos, and he just was kind of, it's he was just having a rough day. That's all that matters. So.
I mean, what a bad day to have a rough day. Denny Hamlin, you know, Grand Slam. Denny's rounded up in 10th on this one. AJM, of course, AJ Allmendinger, 21st. So lots of shakeups in the podiums for this one.
It was a really bad upset.
Yeah, how did this one reflect on the overall standings in the Championship Cup?
I mean, for everybody else in the Cup, I think it stands about the same thing as last time. But like Allman there has a little low placement given this race. And Byron, I think he'll make a comeback. That's what I'm gonna believe in. I mean,
he's still first in the standings.
Yes, he is. So the race was just overall he has a really good chance in like to championships. Which in the championships, besides this and the next race, there's 2 more games left. Just want to give that announcement out.
2 more races left in the championship. Yes. Obviously, we do cover 2 races per segment.
Yes.
So what happened in Miami? You have it on here, not clickbait.
It's not clickbait because they went to the Miami coast. It's pretty simple like that. So for rounding out the top 3, we got Christopher Bell running up with a dramatic victory because, well, he was racing around, obviously, and he just and I got a victory out of it.
In the last gap, he figured that out. The finish line, got the checkered flag with the pass in the dramatic fashion, and that was a big win for Bell too, because he's currently second in the standings.
Yes.
So it'll be very important to see how that all shakes out. Byron obviously has 6 wins, and he's still 16 points ahead. I don't really know how much each race is worth.
Yeah.
I don't know how that scoring kind of works. Do you know how that scoring kind of works?
So like this semester, I'm gonna admit, it has been my first time in a while. So the scoring is kind of a little lucrative. It's more or less like how to phrase this. It's more or less how you do in the races affects the overall score.
Sure.
But like it just.
Cause like, I know like in Formula 1, it's like finishing first gets you so many points, finishing second gives you so many points, finishing
basically
third.
that.
It's kind of like the similar idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Come to think of it, yeah.
Because I see like 6 wins and 14 top 5s, which to me sounds like Byron should be head and shoulders above. But with Bell only having 2 wins and 10 top 5s, I don't really know how that necessarily works. Byron finished 4th in this one, AJM at 5, and then Blaney and Reddick at 2 and 3. I'm not really well versed in understanding much about NASCAR, but to me it seems like Byron's kind of choking this one away.
Yeah.
Because to me, my idea was that it was Byron's championship to lose, and right now it looks like he's losing it.
Yeah. But my opinion, I think he's gonna bounce back. He got that dog in him. I believe in it, and he's gonna get the. Just wait for the next 2 races. He's gonna get first. That's my predictions for the next race.
Mm-hmm. Back-to-back wins.
Back-to-back wins
for Byron.
Yes.
That would be something, and obviously I think that the Byron faithful at home would have. And there's only 2 races left.
Yes.
So Xfinity 500, which is one of the biggest races, and then of course the National, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship
big championship
in Phoenix, where all the marbles are on the line. Christopher Bell, big win. Blaney, second.
Yeah.
So you think that it's going to be Byron first back-to-back times?
Yes, I do believe that. But as like a secondary thing, I'm just going to add Chris Bell up in there because given he's been like second all the time, I just think he'll get second at the time.
So you think Bell's going to finish second?
Yes.
So you think that the standings will not change at all? You think that the way they currently are with Byron in first, Bell in second, Blaney third, Larson in fourth, you see no movement in the top 5?
Lars, I do believe he's going to move up a slot, and I think like that. Besides that, I think everything else is going to stay stagnant.
So you think Larson third?
Yeah.
I don't know. Byron has not been inspiring confidence for me, at least. Yeah. I think Byron has been shaky on the lines, not scoring lots of points, not winning lots of races. I think it's either going to be Bell because Bell's coming off a hot win in Miami.
Yep.
He's got that Miami Vice rolling. He's got that Miami spirit flying. He's cruising.
Yeah.
Not clickbait. I think Bell's going to take over first from Byron. I think Byron's going to choke this one away.
Yep.
And I think dark horse, I think Denny Hamlin fights his way into the top 5 just because I love me some grand slams.
Don't we all, man?
Yeah.
We all.
I mean, hey, if Denny's is serving pancakes, I'm there. And Denny's is always serving pancakes. So you heard it here first. Brock thinks Byron's got it in the bag. I think Bell overtakes him. We'll have to be very cautious on how we approach the end of this NASCAR season. I thank you so much for coming on, Brock. As always, it's a pleasure to have you on. And we will talk some postseason baseball in just 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor,
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
My family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And welcome back to the viewers at home and also Mike DiBenedetto. Welcome. Did I get that right?
It's close. You were very close. It's Debitetto.
Debitetto.
I've heard it butchered all kinds of different ways.
Then no, it's a T.
Yeah, it's like a debit card.
Duh.
Debit card.
Debitetto?
Yeah, Debitetto. You got
Debitetto.
it. Strong Italian name. Even though I'm
Debitetto.
half
I
Irish.
always thought it was a D sound. That's fascinating to me.
That's
Anyways, besides the point. Welcome back to the show, Mike DiBenedetto. And let's talk some baseball.
You didn't say stick and ball. Disappointed.
I have to mix it up sometimes. I gotta throw him a
guess.
curveball, if you will. See what I did there?
I would slap my knee if it wasn't under the desk.
Little bit of baseball metaphor for you, and it's almost a metaphor for the Houston Astros season, which thankfully was ended last night. Adolis Garcia and company drove the stake through the heart of the Houston Astros, and it was. I mean, both LCSs have been just high entertainment.
Baseball. This has been a really, really great week of baseball. If you are not a fan of any of the teams that were actually playing this week, because if you are, you were biting your nails the whole time.
Heart attacks all around.
Yeah, both LCSs made it to 7 games. The Phillies are currently playing the Diamondbacks to see which one from the American League will go to, the National League will go to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
But Astros fans today were in for a lovely day of coping, a little more seething.
Yeah, lots of coping and soothing, spearheaded by one Trevor Hauer back home.
True. I spoke with Trevor as a agent of WMYF TV's Sports Hour, and what he told me is that the Astros were actually cursed by none other than Senator Ted Cruz, who apparently always makes them lose when he shows up to the games in an Astros
Oh boy.
jersey.
Trevor Hauer has lost it
Yeah.
since losing his hosting spot on the show. The tinfoil hat out in an effort out there on out there in the Howard residence. Just giving you a quick update on the Philadelphia Phillies and Arizona Diamondbacks game. It is one apiece, bottom of the second. This one has all of the makings on it of a really good game, because although the Stros and the Rangers went to 7, most of the games were blowouts.
They were.
You know, like Game 6, Rangers won at 9-2 to force Game 7. Because like Rangers started off 2-0, lost 3 straight. Stros were red hot. They come into Texas. Well, I guess I never left the state of Texas. They go up
the state of Texas made a lot of money this week.
They go up to Fort Worth, get spanked 9-2, and then I think Game 7 was in Houston.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, was it in Houston? I could be wrong. I've been wrong a couple of times before in my life.
I only listened to the game. I didn't actually hear it.
The Rangers jumped all over them.
Yeah, they really did.
Javier, they had their ace in.
The final was what, like
11-4.
Yeah,
the Rangers won. I mean, Jose Altuve hit a massive home run in the bottom of the 9th to cut the lead to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So so that was good to see. But Javier got jumped on out the gate. He gave up 4 straight hits, 3 of which were earned runs.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Seager started the bleeding with the solo shot, and then Adolis Garcia got on. Marcus Semien got on. So it was just started slow, and then they kind of never let up. The gas, the Phillies was on the gas. They went through pitchers like wildfire.
Yep.
And the Rangers, they didn't pitch amazingly, but they pitched good enough.
Yeah, no, I mean when you have a 7-point lead by
when you're up a million
inning
runs.
9, you don't even really need to hold them at bay that much.
It's not even a save opportunity at that point. So where do the Stros really go from here? I saw lots of copium online from Stros fans saying, well, the Rangers had to spend $800 million to beat us, so they're also not spending money. The payroll differential between the Rangers and the Stros is $2.3 million.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is it's an interesting sport. Everybody says, oh, they get paid way too much to catch a ball. There's a lot of skill involved, but baseball is certainly interesting with its payrolls. I mean, in a lot of ways, there's the money ball side of things where you try to build a winning team for as cheap as possible.
Just sheer value.
And then there's the baller side of things where you just try to throw as much money at baseball as possible to win games.
And oftentimes it doesn't work.
It oftentimes doesn't work quite as well.
The New York Mets or the New York Yankees.
You don't have to remind me.
Yeah, especially the Mets. They just keep pouring money onto the problems.
San Diego Padres too.
San Diego Padres.
And they didn't quit.
They didn't even make the playoffs.
Neither did the Mets.
Yeah, neither did the Mets or the Yankees. All those teams, trash.
Well,
trash, James. All garbage. Looking at you. Looking at you, Noah. Yeah.
I mean,
are garbage. Trash. Bottom of the AL East. That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, I mean, technically they're not. The Red Sox are bottom of the AL East, but who cares about the Red Sox?
Yeah, no one cares about the Red Sox.
No one cares about the
anyway,
Red Sox.
I mean, personally, tonight watching the Phillies and Diamondbacks play, I will be praying on the downfall of the Phillies. Not just because not just because I'm a Mets fan, but because every time the Phillies win a World Series, something terrible happens. Which has been a theme.
Elaborate on that.
Okay, or I should expand. Every time a baseball team from Philadelphia wins, something horrible happens. 1929, the Philadelphia Athletics win the World Series. And then what else happened in 1929?
Wasn't that World War I?
No, the Great Depression began.
Great Depression starts in World War I.
In 2008, the Phillies win the World Series, and then the housing market bubble popped. So, and then last year, Phillies win again, another recession. So it is quite interesting.
Interesting.
And as we've seen this year, every time Nick Castellanos goes ham and starts hitting bombs to deep right, something horrible in the world has happened.
Somewhere. A tremor is felt in the force.
So for the safety of you, your children, and your children's children, pray for the downfall of the Phillies.
Diamondbacks fans tonight. I think it's interesting to see just kind of the players that are contributing for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, on paper, none of these guys' names are like, oh my God, those guys are going to go win a World Series.
Yeah.
But here they are. I mean, Ketel Marte is productive. Corbin Carroll's obviously the heart of the engine that makes the Diamondbacks run. Gabriel Moreno, who was acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a fact that makes me cry every time I see the Diamondbacks play because I think Gabby is incredible. Christian Walker is a beast. Tommy Pham, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Evan Longoria. All these guys are either has-beens or like not household names. And you look across the diamond, so it's even in the same boat as them, and look at the names they got. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos, Johan Rojas. All of these guys are, and I think this is emblematic of the discussion we're just having on like Moneyball versus star power. And as you can see, there's really not a right answer.
Yeah, I mean, I can't quote it directly, but if you don't win the last game of the season, no one cares.
I think Brandon. I don't even know how to say his last name. Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, I was typing that up, and I was like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but
I mean, he's fanned 4 through 2.
Yeah, there are 2 A's right next to each other. It kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
That name.
Fart? I don't know. Brandon Fart.
Yeah, that's as good as guess of any.
He's posted a 5.72 ERA so far this postseason, but he is.
That's a career ERA.
Oh, that's a career ERA.
I apologize. I should have done a postseason
Oh
ERA.
no, that's okay. Career ERA of 5.72.
In fact, I believe he's a rookie, so that is just from the 2023 season.
He is a rookie with a career ERA of 5.72 ERA. Full career ERA of 5.72. Doesn't matter right now though, because he is dealing in Game 7 of the NLCS with 4 Ks in 2 innings.
Interesting.
Alec Boehm did hit a solo shot, so that is obviously providing big stuff for the Phillies, and of course the RBI was a sacrifice via via Christian Walker. Sorry, could not see the stats. I can't read. Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. All you baseball fans at home, now that you've gotten your Sports Hour coverage, can go watch the end of the NLCS, or you can stick around and watch the end of our episode of the Sports Hour as we talk some hockey with Brent. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome to our last segment, as we have the person who made Taylor Swift with Taylor Swift, Jeff Skinner, the Buffalo Sabres point leader.
The point leader.
He's put in 2 already.
Tonight.
They've heard Breaking Free twice. I've been playing it in my head. Skinner's red hot. Sabres aren't.
They are right now.
I mean, they just lost last night.
They did lose last night.
But right now they're up 5-1 against Ottawa.
We lose to Montreal, but yeah, let's go to Ottawa and
let's head 30 minutes east.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way farther. It's also west, the other direction, but
close enough.
I am half Canadian, so my geography is accurate. And so have the Sabres been tonight, putting in 5, 2 via Skinner, 1 via Thompson, 1 via Tuck, and 1 via Zemgus Girgensons.
Wait, did you say Tuck? Alex Tuck?
Alex Tuck?
He showed up?
He scored a goal.
He actually got a goal for once?
What?
That's crazy.
That can't be Tuck. All Tuck is good for his hits and fighting.
Apparently.
But here he is, proving me wrong. Skinner's put 5 on net, by the way, which I think ties his career high for a season. It feels like, because he's been real trash. But I mean, he's finally earning the contract. He's breaking free of the shackles that is Don Granato's coaching style, and he's put in 2 goals.
Yep.
And the Sabres are flying high right now, and we're not even wearing our goat heads. And you know what it is? It's because we have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net. Because this is the one game a year where he plays generationally.
Yeah, I mean, once we actually get him in there, he usually plays good once he starts, and then I don't know. He's been having this trend ever since we've had him on the squad. Ever since we've called him up from the Americans, he's had this trend. He starts off really, really good, but then it hits like I don't know, mid-November, beginning of December, and then the Sabres just randomly go on like an 8-10 game losing streak.
He turns into a pylon in there. And it's the cognitive dissonance I get from watching UPL play goalie is ridiculous, because I've seen him live. I saw him live in I think it was like his rookie year or second year where we played the Capitals, and it was versus Ovi. I was chirping Ovi the whole game, and UPL was having this monster performance. This guy looked like prime Hasek out there. And then I watched the Sabres game on TV like 2 days later, and it's also UPL, and he's like conceded 7 goals in the first 2 frames. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just sometimes he's on it and he's just like.
I feel like that's the problem with the whole team.
Yeah, because the Sabres have never found consistency.
Nope.
We are a team of highs and lows. We are a bipolar hockey franchise. It is.
We're
incredible.
They give the fans a toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm. They're an abusive partner.
Yeah, like some of these games we've lost this year, we should not have lost. Like the Islanders game, the second game of the year. We outplayed them the entire game and still lost. I mean, granted, Levi's I don't know, 6th NHL game, whatever. But I don't know. We dropped a few games early, and after last year, we said we can't be dropping games because we only missed playoffs because we lost. Literally if we would have won one of those games
in week 2.
Literally, or just not lose to Dallas 10-4, or don't
or
let
the Bruins 9-1,
or the Bruins.
I was there at that game.
Or don't blow a 3-4 goal lead to Washington. There was many different games that we should have won, and the team that got in instead of us went all the way to the final.
Yeah.
I mean, would we have beat Boston first round?
No.
Probably not.
I mean, we might have.
But we might have.
We might have.
Never know, because
who knows? Who knows how
everyone
good?
said that Bruins were going to sweep them.
Yeah,
best team in NHL history.
Yeah, Jacob Swayman and Linus Ullmark.
Yeah, and then they blew a 3-1 lead.
Unscorable. And then they choked.
Choked hard, 3-1 lead.
You can take the Linus Ullmark out of the Buffalo Sabres, but you can't take the Buffalo Sabres out of the Linus Ullmark because he choked in the postseason.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And did you also hear that the Senators signed Craig Anderson to a 1-day deal so he can retire as a Senator tonight?
Really?
1-day deal.
I thought I just saw something that Craig Anderson was the new assistant to the assistant coach.
He's like the assistant
veteran presence.
He's like the assistant
locker room
head
guy.
of hockey operations or
That's
something
like
for us.
his official title. I think is just locker room guy.
Yeah. I mean, great title. He's 42. He probably is a really good locker room guy.
I'm sure he's got lots of insights on the game of hockey.
Oh yeah, but Buffalo didn't. We didn't sign Ryan Miller for a one-day deal.
Kind of let him retire.
Have him retire.
Well, that's because Ryan Miller wasn't really that good until he left.
I mean, he had. I mean, yeah. He had some years that were better than other years.
But every single player in the history of the Buffalo Sabres, their best years were after they left the team. I mean,
That's
Jack
also
Eichel
true.
left, he won a title. Linus Ullmark left, he became the best goalie in hockey.
O'Reilly left and
also won a title. So maybe if we just rebrand the team.
I think we
If everyone leaves the Sabres?
I think we need to
because
call
the
up-
Sabres no longer exist. What if it becomes the Buffalo Bandits? No, that's already a thing.
The Bandits won a championship.
The Buffalo Fighting Irish. No, that's Notre Dame's logo.
This is just a fake,
The Buffalo St. Patrick's. The Buffalo.
Screw it. Bring the Braves back.
Yeah,
bring
the Buffalo Braves.
Bring the
There it
Braves
is.
back.
Bring the Braves back. Let's get basketball back in Buffalo. Can we get basketball as a segment, please? Tip-off is tonight, by the way.
We would love to give you somebody to talk NBA with, but we don't have anyone.
Just put me on by myself. I'll sit in the center of the desk. Not the part. We're talking hockey. Sorry. We're getting way off topic. Tangentially related. Back to hockey.
Tonight
the Bruins
is the Frozen
are unbeatable.
Frenzy. Tonight's
the Frozen Frenzy. What's that mean?
16 games, all 32 teams.
All teams in the association are playing tonight, right now.
Tonight.
And we're gonna go down the list here. How many games? 16.
So Maple Leafs and Capitals finished. Maple Leafs beat them 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Sabres, Senators in play right now. We're up 5-1.
14 to go in the third.
14 to go in the third. Lightning are up 2-0 on Carolina in Tampa.
End of the second.
End of the second.
Lightning beating up on the Canes.
Devils up 2-1. They were just tied. Who got the other goal? Toffoli.
Toffoli?
I have you on fantasy. Thank you. I needed that. I was losing by like 10 points, so thanks for that.
Pastrami. Stromboli puts it in.
Stromboli put it in the back of the net.
There's a minute 20 left in the second period there with the Devils up 2-1 on the Canadians. Stars and Penguins tied at 1 with 9:19 to go in the second. Sharks, Panthers, nothing doing there. Zeros, 13:54 in the second to go there. The Avs up 2-1 on the Isles end of the first. And the Kraken and the Wings are tied at 0 with 3:40 to go in the first. And the Bruins and the Blackhawks
just got underway.
Puck just dropped 4.5 minutes ago. They're tied so far, although I don't think Bedard is scoring on Ullmark.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
He did score on Ullmark in Boston.
He is the greatest hockey player ever to touch the ice. So
he's the greatest rookie as of right now.
All I can hear from the hockey talking heads is that he is the best player to ever grace the game of hockey, and he will be the next Wayne Gretzky.
Well, that's just an absurd statement. He's only played like 4 games.
So far.
But imagine
when he's played like 200.
But when once he gets into like his 3rd, 4th year, he'll probably be an unreal dominant player, especially if Taylor Hall stays on that team, that veteran on his line. I mean, that helps him a lot. Taylor Hall is actually injured right now, so this actually might not be a good game for the Blackhawks. But
I mean, it's never a good game when you're playing the Bruins that are currently 5-0. They have
3 teams left
they
that are
have
undefeated.
Not lost a game. And just quickly, the Ducks and the Jackets also got underway recently. 10 minutes into that one, actually 11 minutes now. Ducks, Blue Jackets tied at 0. And then the remaining matchups that start up later: Blues, Jets, Oilers, Wild, Canucks, Predators, Rangers, Flames, Coyotes, Kings, and the Flyers and the Golden Knights end off the night at 11 p.m. puck time EST. So all that to be said, lots of hockey happening tonight. Let's just get do you want to just do like a quick, brief overview of the league going on? I said there's 5 teams still undefeated.
3.
3 teams.
It's
sorry.
Colorado, Vegas, and Boston.
Dallas hasn't lost either.
Oh, Dallas hasn't
lost?
lost?
Dallas are 3-0. Oh, sorry, they lost in overtime. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Misreading.
But yeah, only 3 teams left undefeated, and I gave my housemate the other day, Will, you're probably not watching this, but I'll show you later. I hate that you're a Bruins fan. You're a bum. But I did make a hot take to him the other day that said this will be the Bruins' first loss of the season. Tonight against Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks. But that's just me speaking out of emotions because I don't like the Bruins. So
I also don't like the Bruins. The one hockey game I actually got to go to last year was the St. Patrick's Day game for the Sabres, and we lost like 8-1.
Yeah, that was a brutal game.
And the worst part of it was I was sitting like a row and like a seat over behind a Bruins fan who thought that his team was the greatest thing on ice. And I don't know. I hope you're having a great life. Because he was an older gentleman. I hope you're having a great life. But I would have paid real money to see how he reacted to the Bruins choking the 3-1 lead.
That would, yeah, honestly.
Real money.
I mean,
to see him eat those tears.
That's actually a crazy game that you went to because I think there were more Bruins fans in that arena than there was Sabres.
It was a Bruins home game, for sure.
It really was.
It was a Bruins home game.
I mean, honestly, shout out to Bruins fans last year. They were kind of like what the Bills Mafia is for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best team in NHL history. They had the best record in NHL history. Their fans literally went everywhere. Any game that you watched the Bruins after it got midway through the season, whether it was home or away, obviously if it's home it's going to be packed, but whenever they were away,
lots of yellow and black
in
the
packing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
especially the abandoned factory out there in Arizona.
Yeah. Speaking of the abandoned factories, what a gritty team. Honestly.
3-2. Just keep winning.
Yeah.
Just win. I bet that's what they got in their locker room. Just win.
Just win.
Just win.
Just win.
Just win.
They're gritty.
Arizona's coach sat him down, and they were like, and he's like, guys,
he's like, listen, boys,
new coaching philosophy. We get out there, we just win.
I wonder if that's what Donnie Meatballs told them tonight.
Hey, it's what he told Skinner. 2 goals.
Just score.
Yeah, just score. Just shoot.
You know.
Just throw them on net.
You want to hear a fun stat? After yesterday's game, Marty Baron and Brian Duffy are on there doing their post-game stuff. Do you
Great
know?
guys.
Do you want to know the statement that Baron made? Take a guess on how many shot attempts we had yesterday and how many shot attempts we had Saturday against the Islanders.
Combined?
No, each, because they're both about the same. I'll just tell you real quick.
Like 23.
70 against the Islanders. 68
70?
against Montreal. Do you know how many goals we scored yesterday? 1.
Out of 63 shots.
68 shot attempts.
68 shots.
Where are the goals?
Where are the goals? I really think. See, like that's. My philosophy is that more shots equals more goals, but stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. And the greatest player ever, Wayne Gretzky, also said every 10 shots equals 1 goal.
Right.
So you're putting up 70 shot attempts, and
there's just no goals.
There's just no goals.
Just no goals.
No
But there
Sabre.
are goals tonight.
There are goals. There's
The
a lot
goals
of
are
goals.
flowing on this frozen frenzy.
Frozen frenzy.
On
And
this
quick update, the
frozen
Sharks
frenzy.
just took a 1-0 lead on Florida. Wow.
And as the Sharks score, that marks the end of our time here together tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for more sports updates, Sports Hour, News 11, post-production shows. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at WNYFTV. Make sure to drop a follow there. Brent's Fakes through the W, and Taylor Hall, not Taylor Hall, you got him stuck in my head. Jeff Skinner. Swifty Skinner with the W.
For all the Swifties
That's
out
all we
there,
got for you guys tonight.
he made Taylor Swift famous.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be
Not
here
Travis
next
Kelce.
week. Basement at Hendricks Hall. Don't go anywhere. Have a great night, everyone. See ya.